Florida law doesn't require a person to wait until they're shot before they can use a gun. It doesn't require a person to wait until they're stabbed before they can use deadly force. It doesn't require a person to wait until they're punched or grabbed or choked or knocked down or stomped or seriously injured before they can defend themselves with deadly force. But the belief has to be reasonable. The threat has to be imminent. Death, deadly force has to be necessary. Again, self-defense is an imperfect defense. That's what people mean when we say self-defense is not about perfect accuracy. A person doesn't have to be correct in hindsight about every detail of the danger that they face. The law allows for the fact that people under threat may not have perfect, accurate information. The question is whether the belief was reasonable at the time. Okay? The law, the judges, the decision from the pressure of the moment. They don't expect you to be perfect. It doesn't expect to be, would not expect you to be perfect. And you folk who are sitting comfortably online, second guessing this situation after the fact, you don't know. Now, we introduced this case. If this woman was backing away, according to the video that we've seen, right? If she warned him to stop, if he kept coming toward her anyway, those are facts the defense will emphasize. They'll say she wasn't chasing or pursuing him. She was trying to create distance and kept trying to close the distance. He had an opportunity to stop. He kept coming. That's a real self-defense argument. It's not automatic, but it's better than a lot of them that I've seen. Now, a jury would still want to know how close he was. Now, we can kind of approximate from the video, but they want testimony. They want definitive numbers if possible. How fast was he moving? Whether he was threatening her. Whether he swung at her that we didn't see on the video. Maybe a witness saw that. Whether she said, come over here and I got something for you. We don't know. Was he reaching for her? Was she reaching for him? I don't know. Whether she created or escalated the confrontation, whether he stopped or slowed down before the shot, whether the deadly force immediately, I don't know. But the prosecution is going to look at all those facts and argue this wasn't life or death encounter. That's what they're going to say. They're going to ask whether, shout out to Torrin Jones. They're going to ask whether this was really an imminent threat or death or great bodily harm. They're going to ask these questions. But at no point should anybody be yelling closed case at this point. And some of you folk think stand your ground only protects white folk. That's what you said. I've read your comments today. Other people are saying race has nothing to do with it. Both sides are oversimplifying it. It's fair to discuss racial disparities and how self-defense claims are investigated and charged and argued and received by juries. Anybody who practices law knows that's true. Anybody who studies the justice system knows race affects public perception and institutional decision-making. But you can't responsibly predict the outcome of this specific case based on the fact that the shooter is a black woman and the victim is a white man. Race is going to shape the public debate, as you see. Race is going to shape the media framing. We're used to that. Race is going to shape how people emotionally respond to the facts. Y'all have gone to y'all corner. But legally, this case is going to come back to evidence. The video, the witnesses, the distance, the movement, the warnings, the timing, the physical positioning, the final seconds before the shot. Now, I want to talk about the fact that this was a woman defending herself allegedly against a man. Okay? On top of that, it wasn't no big gal. It was a small woman. Okay? That's relevant. We need to deal with that. It's right there in your face, right? Something we need to deal with. If you want to talk about that, hit the subscribe button, because this is what you're going to get here. Now, Men and women are not equal. Men and women are not the same. Is that fair to say? Can we say that? I don't want to offend any of you all, but see, this is something that matters in every self-defense case, but especially in this case. The physical difference between the people involved, the fact that she appears to be a smaller woman and he was a man, it does play a role in the reasonableness analysis. It doesn't automatically justify deadly force, but let me be clear about that. And let me be clear about something else. Being smaller or being a woman doesn't mean you automatically get to shoot somebody or stab them or use deadly force. Being a woman doesn't mean every man who walks towards you is an imminent deadly threat, but it also legally and practically is wrong to pretend that size and strength and sex really is sex and physical. It doesn't bring forth a physical disadvantage. Now, we're not talking about a big, strong Samoan woman, about 350 pounds, and you a 130-pound dude. That might be different. That's why I made sure I add size, strength, and sex and physical disadvantage. Have you ever seen a Samoan auntie up close and personal? She will grab you like that with them big meaty hands and wrap you up and throw you across the room and then reach over and bring you back. You understand that? I'm trying to tell you. So we're not talking about every woman, okay? There's some big, strong ladies out there, and you don't want to wrestle with them. They will put something on you, and you will never be the same afterwards. You were like, what happened to me? Now, under Florida law, the question is whether a reasonable person in her position would believe deadly force was necessary to prevent imminent death or great bodily harm. Her position includes the actual circumstance she was facing at the moment. Somebody type "at the moment." That means the law doesn't look at this like some abstract argument between two equal people standing in the courtroom. That's why, we say the law is blind, but it's clearly not. The law is going to look, is that a woman? That's a man? Okay. The law is not blind, okay? The law looks at the physical reality of the participants in the confrontation. Was she smaller? Was he larger? Is the presumption that she was stronger or he was stronger? Was she alone? Was he closing the distance? Was she backing away? Did she warn him? Did he ignore the warning? Was he still coming after he seen the gun pointed at him? Somebody type stupid. Could he physically have overpowered her if he reached her? Ladies, do you think the average man could physically overpower you once they put hands on you? Because, see, that's what the jury is going to consider. Did she act reasonably? Those facts matter because physical threat isn't just about whether somebody had a gun or knife. A person can cause great bodily death with their hands and elbows and feet and so on and forth. They can break bones. They can put you on the ground and bash your head in the pavement. You see? And this is where, there's a size disparity in the presumption of strength. And this is where people have been trying to compare this to the Carmelo Anthony case. We're going through everything today. You hear me? We're going to talk about it all. I'm going to get it out. I'm going to get it all out for you. Now, a big to-do was made about the fact this Carmelo Anthony case because Austin Metcalf was bigger. And the jury clearly understood that. Austin Metcalf was about 6'1", 210 pounds. Carmelo Anthony was about 5'11", 163 pounds. This is what the stats say. Okay. Now, some people are trying to embellish. Oh, no, he was 5'2", 105 pounds. You mean he was trying to get a football scholarship? He was playing free safety in Texas at how big, y'all? 130 pounds? It's possible, but I'm just saying. But the bottom line is they wanted that size difference to carry the whole self-defense argument. But I never bought that as some massive physical mismatch because we talking about two 17-year-old young men. Both of them were male. Carmelo Anthony wasn't some frail, helpless child. Okay, he wasn't. He was a robust, muscular young man. They actually showed him doing some 7-on-7 drills. The boy played free safety for his football team. He's about, like I said, he's 5'11", 163 pounds. He's strong, athletic. he's still capable. He's still a young man with male strength and speed and physical ability. So even if Austin Metcalf was bigger, a rational jury could still look at these two boys and say, these are two 17-year-old males. One of them might be a little bigger, but they're not worlds apart. And that's a very different analysis from a small woman facing an adult man in a parking lot. Okay? And that distinction people need to understand.